Hello, baking enthusiasts. Let's talk sourdough. It's easier than you think to make at home. Yes, you can do this. That's the magic of sourdough. What do you need to start this journey? Just flour and water. That's it. No fancy ingredients. Choose a good quality flour. I like to use organic flour. It makes a difference in the flavor. Use equal parts flour and water. Mix them together in a jar. Now the magic begins. This simple mixture will become your very own sourdough starter. It's alive with natural yeasts and bacteria. These tiny helpers will make your bread rise and give it that unique sourdough flavor. Let's talk about what to expect each day. Starting a sourdough starter is a journey that requires patience and attention to detail. Each day brings new developments and signs of life in your starter. It's a fascinating process that connects you to the ancient art of bread making. On day 1, mix your flour and water. Use equal parts by weight, typically 100 grams of each. This simple mixture is the foundation of your starter. The flour provides the food, and the water creates the environment for the yeast and bacteria to thrive. Cover the jar loosely with a cloth. This allows air to circulate while keeping out unwanted debris. The cloth also helps maintain the right humidity level, which is crucial for the fermentation process. Let it sit at room temperature. The ambient temperature plays a significant role in how quickly your starter develops. Ideally, keep it in a spot that's around 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 to 24 degrees Celsius. Too cold, and the process will slow down. Too hot, and it might speed up too quickly. That's it for day 1. It's a simple start, but this initial step is crucial for setting the stage for the days to come. On day 2, check your starter. You might not see much change yet, but that's okay. The microorganisms are just beginning to wake up and start their work. You might see a few bubbles. These bubbles are a sign that the yeast is starting to produce carbon dioxide, which will eventually help your bread rise. That's a good sign. It means the yeast is starting to work. The presence of bubbles indicates that fermentation is beginning, and your starter is on its way to becoming active. Now it's time to feed your starter. Feeding involves discarding some of the starter and adding fresh flour and water. This keeps the yeast and bacteria well fed and active. Discard about half of the mixture. This might seem wasteful, but it's necessary to keep the balance of yeast and bacteria in check. You can use the discard in other recipes, like pancakes or waffles. Then, add equal parts of fresh flour and water. Stir it well. This refreshes the starter and provides new food for the microorganisms, helping them to grow and multiply. Days 3 through 5 are all about feeding your starter every 12 hours. Consistency is key. Regular feeding helps build a strong, active starter that will give your bread the best rise and flavor. Discard half, then feed it with fresh flour and water. You'll see more bubbles. The starter will become more active, and you might notice a tangy aroma developing. The starter might even double in size. This is a great sign that the yeast is thriving and producing lots of carbon dioxide. It should start to smell a bit sour, like yogurt. This sour smell is due to the lactic acid bacteria, which are also an important part of the fermentation process. That's a good thing. It means the bacteria are doing their job. The balance of yeast and bacteria is what gives sourdough its unique flavor and texture. By days 6 or 7, your starter should be active and ready to use. It will be bubbly, have a pleasant sour aroma, and double in size within a few hours of feeding. It will double in size after feeding. This indicates that it's strong enough to leaven bread. It should have a good sour aroma. This is the hallmark of a healthy, active starter. Now you're ready to bake. With your active starter, you can create delicious sourdough bread with a perfect rise and tangy flavor. Enjoy the fruits of your labor and the satisfaction of baking with your own homemade starter. Section 4. Troubleshooting your starter. It's easier than you think. Don't worry if your starter doesn't seem quite right at first. Here are a few tips. If you don't see many bubbles, try using different flour. Warmer temperatures can also help the starter become more active. If your starter smells bad, like nail polish remover, that's not a good sign. It might be contaminated. Don't worry, you can start again. Just make sure your jar is clean. Section 5. Your first loaf awaits. Now comes the exciting part, baking. There are many sourdough bread recipes available. Find one you like and follow the instructions. Remember, baking is about having fun and experimenting. Don't be afraid to try new things. When you use your sourdough starter, you are baking with wild yeast. It's a natural process that's been around for centuries. The result is a bread that's full of flavor and character. Section 7. Sharing the warmth of homemade bread. There's nothing like sharing something you've made yourself. The joy of seeing your loved ones savor each bite, the warmth of their smiles, and the laughter that fills the room. Invite your friends and family over. Let the aroma of freshly baked bread fill the air, creating an atmosphere of comfort and love. Slice into that freshly baked sourdough bread. Feel the satisfying crunch as the knife breaks through the crust. The crust will be crispy and golden brown, a testament to the perfect bake. The inside will be soft, airy, and full of flavor. Each bite will be a harmonious blend of textures and tastes. And as you take that first bite, you'll know it was worth it.